Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. So today I want to pour flowers and I need to admit something. This was normally my pour for the collaboration which took place on Saturday. And yeah, I was not happy with this pour and I did something different. And yeah, I thought I still upload this video because yeah, I just want to have your opinion about it, but I'm not really happy about it. So now you see me mixing my white. I'm using the pigment drops from Etta Art and also some of the interference pearl. And I'm using here the mastercast resin from Elechem, which I got from Stefanie Etta. And yeah, I take care for my white. And then as a second color, I'm gonna mix some mica powder, and it's a green hydrangea. I think it's called like this from Laura's Art Corner. It's a beautiful green tone. I really love it. And I also add some of the interference pearl to it. You will see it in a second. But first I'm stirring this up very well. When you use the mica powder, you really need to stir it very, very well. Otherwise you really have some little powder dots in your resin, and that's what you don't want to have. So here's the interference pearl, and I just take it to tone down a little bit my color. So these are the colors I'm using, and actually I think I made this too heavy. But you will see it in the end result. And I'm of course very curious what you're gonna say. So here are my alcohol inks. They're from Octopus. I used the olive, the navy and the marigold, and these are gonna be in my pour. So here's the Geranium mold from MoldsandShapes. I really love it a lot. And this is gonna be my mold for the pour. I already placed my clear resin into the mold. So I cutted my video a little bit and I took care that I pour the clear resin into the mold, and then I just made it clear. So I popped the bubbles. I did everything I needed to do so I can do my flowers. And now I just randomly use the colors I've chosen for my flower. And you see what I'm doing. And I'm doing flower by flower, starting here with the first one, which has a little bit more of the blue. And yeah, I'm going in a spiral because, like I always say, this is normally the easiest way for me to make a flower. And then I'm just gonna draw my petals. I try to do every flower just slightly different. And I'm very curious how these are going to turn out at the end. I want them to be a little bit more heavy because it's spring and flowers start to bloom. So the bloom itself is not so flat. And I don't mind if they are blobs. So this is what I'm saying straight away. Otherwise, I would have been a little bit more careful with my interference pearl color towards my white. Now I'm just taking my green color and I'm pouring along the edges. And of course I'm hoping that there's a nice effect happening, that the green is pulling through the center, towards the center, and is covering the flowers a little bit. So this is my first flower done, and now I'm starting with my second flower. And you see I'm just using my alcohol inks and just place the drops however I want to have them. And it's so much fun. I just enjoy doing the 3D blooms, and it's always, you know, very satisfying, I could say, just, you know, doing the pours and seeing what outcomes it's gonna happen, because depending on what colors you use and how you draw your petals, etc., you always get a different result. And this is what I love about it so much. And also with some things, the 3D blooms are forgiving, but of course they are also very difficult for some people. Anyway, I'm quite happy that I learned it with all those years or in all those years, because I remember when I started with resin almost 5 years ago, it was just a nightmare for me, and also to achieve effects anyway. So everyone who struggles, just be patient, it will come. You learn about resin, you will learn about how your resin, the resin you are using, is behaving, and then everything happens by itself. So I've done my second bloom and now the third bloom, and you see I just always add my alcohol inks slightly different. And now again, I'm using my dotting tool and I'm just emphasizing a little bit what I'm doing. And then I can take my white again and I just make my spiral. Yeah, there I got confused. I almost poured with my green. These things are happening. I don't know. There are also days where you are more concentrated. Some days you are less concentrated. It just happens. So I'm just drawing my petals here, and I want to go with many petals. This is actually the bloom I like the most, when there are a lot of little petals and thin petals. And yeah, I'm just curious how this is gonna look like. So this is almost my third one done. And again, I'm taking my cup and I'm pouring around the edge. When you look at the first coaster, you can already see that the outside green is pulling toward the center. So I'm very hopeful at that point, that everything will turn out nicely. So now I'm just busy with my last flower. And again, I'm just adding the alcohol inks a little bit different and emphasizing a little bit with my dotting tool. And of course, I'm hoping that the colors are also matching well with each other. I was a little bit critical as well with the olive green and then this sort of lime green, which I have in the powder. So yeah, sometimes you just don't know what's gonna happen, how it's gonna look like. With the blue and with the yellow, I was not really concerned too much, but with the olive green, I thought, maybe this could not match 100%. So, and also here, I'm just making my petals a little bit different. And then again, I'm taking my green and I'm pouring around the edges. So for the green, I would really suggest, when you do a pour like this, use a little bit less mica powder. I think I just overdid it a little bit. And then you see I'm also adding what I had still in my cup to this other coaster, and yeah, I'm just taking care that I'm emphasizing also the joints of the petals, which are from the mold. And of course, I'm hoping that everything will pull toward the center and that it's gonna be nice. And at the end, just with my heat gun a little bit to activate the sides, because my resin, it's a master cast resin, it hasn't got such a long working time. It also started to be thickened, and yeah, that's when you also have to see what's gonna happen. But yeah, we will see. So with the first one, I was quite satisfied so far, because really it made its way, and I love it. I love the effects from mica powder, and I love the sheen of it. And here's now the close-up, and that was straight after I finished my pouring, and you can see this is actually the first coaster I've poured. There's happening something, and yeah, it's starting to close. So I hope it will close everywhere so that the green is really a nice background for my flowers. But we will see the next day, and I needed to wait not 24 hours, maybe 20 hours. I was sleeping, and then the next day I was just demolding, and I'm very curious. So I just take them out of the mold. I'm sorry that you cannot see the complete mold. I also put my leftover into the center, which is not really anything nice. I just put my white in there and my clear resin, and that's it. But you will see it now. This is just this little feature. It's nothing special, but it's cute. So, and now I'm very, very curious. Well, I know it already, but I wonder what you're gonna say. I love the flower, but for my personal taste, I think the crackle effect is far too thick at that side. And yeah, I just turn the flowers over. There are also flowers with blobbies, like I said, but yeah, I don't mind. I think they add really to the depths and to the spring inspired pour. But yeah, the crackle effect for me actually is too big. I was speaking with Rebecca from Art of Chester Cat, and when she saw them, she said, "Hey Petra, it's like the flower is peeking through the green grass." So this is her interpretation, and I really liked it. But anyway, this is my favorite one with the green, and actually I think it's not too bad with the olive green and with the lime green. But with this end result, I'm gonna love and leave you. I thank you for watching, and take care, guys. Bye bye.